Yep, 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 yep. Yep. What's up, y'all? Tell like it is TV, man. Let's talk about it, y'all. So first of all, hit the like button, the subscribe button if you want to donate. The links is in the description box. If not, that's cool. The like button is, that's right, y'all. The like button is free. All right, man. So let's get into this Charlie Kirk situation, man. If y'all don't know, I'm pretty sure y'all heard about the news about Charlie Kirk, conservative at the end of the day. Then got his top popped at the end of the day at a goddamn event, speaking event. I want to say this was like sometime last week. Very unfortunate what happened. Am I somebody who's a big Charlie Kirk supporter? Absolutely not. Charlie Kirk has said a lot of things that's, denigrate. He's like, low key, he like a race baiter, low key. You know what I'm saying? But am I somebody that's over here celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk? Absolutely not. That man got a wife and kids that's going to miss him, and family members and friends and shit like that. Even though I don't agree with some of the shit that the man was saying, there's some things I do agree with what Charlie Kirk has had to say. But there's some things that I don't agree with what Charlie Kirk had to say, especially about ancient Americans. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate to happen. But for people to be running around here celebrating this man's death is kind of disgusting. I ain't gonna sit up here and hold you on that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we seen that some people have been celebrating and losing their jobs based off their social media posts. You see what I'm saying? This is one of the females that, you know, one of the females that lost her job, posting and celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. You know what I mean? Now, what's funny about this to me is that, immediately, like, I know some conservatives and shit, they was bringing this shit up or whatever, and, they automatically think like it's the Democrats that got this nigga murked and shit. And it's, to me, like I said, it's just funny to me. That's why I don't really get into the politics shit too much, because, like, it's just weird to me. It's become weird to me. You know what I'm saying? It really has, because you find out motherfuckers be dead ass hypocritical, and it's just like, it just kind of throws me off, and it makes me kind of just fall back from politics a lot of the times. Like I said, like watching Trump talk all this and make America great shit, and this, that, and the third, and then this nigga's out here inviting eight fucking South Africans over here. He's inviting motherfucking 16,000 Chinese motherfuckers to come work over here, and it's like, wait a minute, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, wait a minute, all this shit you was talking about, fam. And now but whatever, man. But anyway, this is about the Charlie Kirk situation. So let's get into this real quick. Anyway, fair accused, fair accused, fair accused.
What the fuck are you supposed to do when you get fired? You just take it? You just take it like a man? I'm unemployed. What am I supposed to do now? Do I go home and goon? Like, guys, what do I do? Like, actually, like, what do you do?
Now, I ain't gonna hold you. I don't trust no female. I told y'all about these females with these little nose rings and shit like that. I don't trust no bitch. Bad shit crazy. You see, anytime y'all see a broad like this, you better not be taking it serious. You can have some fun with her, but you better not be taking her as serious. She is stone cold crazy. You know what I'm saying? But anyway.
When you get fired, what's the next step? Do you look for? Obviously, you look for a job, but like, I got no income now. I spent my last $300 on a parking ticket. That was on me. I did let it sit a little bit. It was like a $30 parking ticket. It went up to $300.
So you let a $30 parking ticket climb up to $300. Yeah, it shows the decision making when it comes down to this broad at the end of the day. And then, like I said, you out here celebrating a man losing his life. Now, one can say, tell like it is TV. How you gonna say that when the Republicans and everybody, they was out here celebrating the death of George Floyd? And then some of them was, and Charlie Kirk was definitely one of them. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like I said, I'm not up here. This ain't a whole we defending Charlie Kirk situation, but I'm just telling y'all at the end of the day, y'all got to be careful about the shit y'all running around here posting and celebrating motherfuckers' demise and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You ain't got nothing nice to say. Don't say it at all.
I really don't want to talk about it, but what am I supposed to do, guys? Oh my god, this. You know when they say like once you get to a point in adulthood where it's not enjoyable. I don't know who said adulthood was enjoyable. I'm just kind of, but like, what am I? My gas? I haven't got enough for gas, guys. Oh my god, what am I? is this what I can't do this. I'm supposed to do this for the rest of my life. Like I can't. What am I supposed to do, guys? Please, someone put financial tips.
All right, so she up here trying to hustle the internet because she done did some dumb shit and lost her fucking job, celebrating the demise of another human being losing their life. Like I said, I'm gonna continue to keep saying this for you niggas to get ready to cry in my comment section. Oh, you out here defending Charlie Kirk? I'm not defending this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, I'm not. But one thing, tell like it is, TV ain't about to do. I ain't about to be out here parading and celebrating somebody getting murked like that in the public. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. I'm not celebrating that shit. I don't give a fuck about nothing at the end of the day. I'm not celebrating that shit. You know what I mean? And for any of y'all running around here jumping on y'all Facebook posts, clowning it, the fact that this man, because I watch y'all do that shit with Donald Trump. Y'all was celebrating the fact that this nigga almost got killed. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's nasty work. You know what I'm saying? That's nasty work. Y'all running around here. Why? Because Charlie Kirk don't believe in abortions and shit. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because Charlie Kirk don't believe in homosexuality and shit. So now when this nigga die or get murked like that, y'all out here celebrating like this nigga was really out here making laws and shit like that. Like, y'all gotta calm the fuck down. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta calm down. It ain't that deep. You know what I'm saying? That's that man's opinion. But anyway, let's come over here. So I'm guessing this is one of the I guess this is at one of his speaking events of one of the security guards, and somebody came over and handed one of the security guards some money, it looks like, as Charlie Kirk is speaking, as you see in this video. But let's get into this real quick.
The lesser, these are all Christian values. So what I'm getting at, though, is if we remove Christian values, which you may or may not be suggesting.
Now, we know that Charlie Kirk is a Christian. At least that's what he promotes at the end of the day. He promotes Christianity, things like that. I've heard Donald Trump actually get up there and talk about how, you know, these school shootings and shit like that is very anti-Christian. And it really has. People don't really talk about that enough, to be honest. Anytime you see like these church shootings and shit like that, is normally like against Christianity. You know what I mean? It's normally in Christian churches. And in Christian churches, they don't believe in a lot of this whole, even though you might go to, because, you know, like I said, you know, I've been to churches where, you know, motherfuckers be gay in there, and you know damn well that shit is in the Bible. That shit is forbidden. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. So how you up in here preaching Christianity, but the usher gay? You know what I'm saying? Or the goddamn, you know what I mean? Like, it's just mad weird. But anyway.
What do we replace them with?
I guess my question is more centered around using taxpayer dollars. Well, I guess I can leave with a question. How do you feel about
To the lesser, these are all Christian.
Now, I wants to say, what is that he's handing off to this guy? You know what I'm saying? Now, this could just be a bunch of conspiracy theories. Who the hell knows? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, this was put on camera for a reason. These people are not moving in this kind of manner for no fucking reason. I just want y'all to understand that. You know what I'm saying? They're not moving in this manner. They know they're on camera, okay? So they're not doing this shit to try to hide anything. So this is why I'm like, you know, motherfuckers really got to start thinking at the end of the day, because if they really wanted to move in silence, they wouldn't have did no dumb. He would have waved them off like, oh, no, not right here. You know, camera right there. He'd have did one of those or some shit like that. You know what I mean? But these folks know what they're doing, okay? But anyway, let me let it keep going. All right. So I'm just interested to see what people got to say in the comment section about this shit. Let me see what motherfuckers is talking about in the comment section. Just real quick. Just for kicks, how many of you non-Masons out there got snuck a challenge coin in the middle of a public speaking event next to the speaker, or at all ever? You know what I mean? So anyway, this is one of these kind of coins. Y'all know what time it is when it comes down to this masonry. Okay, so if that's what he got slipped into his whatchamacallit, hey man. This is the game that Charlie Kirk wanted to play. All right. This is
I'm
why
standing
pardon me. All right, so I'm gonna go into this
from
video right
probably the
here.
third
This is one of the
row in the bottom.
eyewitnesses. This is
Okay.
my bad, y'all. This is one of the eyewitnesses that was there. So according to this tweet right here, this man was going in about what he witnessed at the event, and apparently they cut him off. You know what I'm saying? Apparently they cut him off while he was explaining what the hell happened. Okay, so let's get into it.
I was standing from probably the third row in the bottom. I heard the shot ring out. I looked to my left, and then I looked over to my right. I saw him slump over in his chair forward. He slumped over. He had blood coming from the left side of his neck, down his shirt, and he slumped over and he was carried off. Get off me! Get off me!
Now think about that. This man ain't did shit wrong. Okay, he didn't do nothing wrong. He's just explaining what the hell happened. Okay, he's like, look, I was sitting here and the shot rang out and they hit him in the neck and he slumped over and da-da-da-da. And they like, oh no, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. Why is it a secret? You know what I'm saying? Why can't this man, who's an eyewitness, why can't he speak on what the fuck he's seen? What is so secretive about what he witnessed at this event that the world is pretty much going to be talking about? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? What is so secretive about that shit? You know what I'm saying? But anyway.
Running high right now.
All right, so they literally cut him off. You know what I'm saying? They literally cut dude off. But anyway, let's come over here to Candace Owens, okay? So
he had,
I'm gonna go ahead. Let me go ahead and play this real quick. All right.
more than one event.
Let me see. So anyway, Candace Owens claims threats were made to Charlie Kirk during an intense intervention with Bill Ackman in the Hamptons weeks ago. Owens claims Kirk was having a change of heart on Isreal before his death and says he was contacted by Bibi Netanyahu. I know that Charlie was offered a ton of money in this moment, a ton of money. Ackman has denied the claims, calling them totally false. Now listen. Now, y'all know how I feel about Candace Owens. Some things I can agree with Candace Owens on, and some things I think Candace Owens is a straight buck dancing coon. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. Straight up coon. You know what I mean? And she gonna do, but one thing she is gonna do, she gonna dive deep. So if she gonna dive deep in her coonery, she's gonna do that. If she's gonna dive deep in somebody's chest when it come to talking about goddamn politics or them 24 karat people and shit like that, she gonna dive in the motherfucking chest at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But anyway, let's get into this video. Fair use. And I was telling somebody this, I guess the night that it happened or the day after. I was at a bar or whatever the case may be, and we talking about the Charlie Kirk situation. And like I said, they just automatically, some of these hardcore fucking Republicans or conservatives, they just automatically think the Democrats has something to do with it. Now listen, I've been going to this place and they know I support. Well, I didn't vote, but they know, I like Donald Trump, right? I like some of his policies. I don't agree with everything Donald Trump does, but I if you had to tell me this candidate or that candidate, I went with Trump. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. And ain't no shame in my game about it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But I started telling them like, well, I don't think the Democrats had nothing to do with that. That shit is something deeper than the Democrats. He probably pissed off somebody else, another group of people at the end of the day, and that's who got him murked. You know what I'm saying? They just want you to think that the Democrats has something to do with it. Oh, no, you're speaking like a Democrat. What? You support the Democrats. What? How do you get that? You know what I'm saying? Like, just because I'm saying I don't think the Democrats has something to do. Charlie Kirk I don't know how important y'all niggas think Charlie Kirk is. Like, this nigga is not that important to where the point the Democrats want this nigga smoked. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, Charlie Kirk is not that big of a deal. Maybe, whatever. I know he dead and gone and stuff like that now. But I'm just saying, he's not that big of a deal to where the point y'all think that this nigga is the Democrats want him deleted. You know what I'm saying? They want him taken out. You know what I mean? Like, he's not that big of a deal. You know, straight up and down, he's not. You know what I'm saying? People that he's been knee deep in the game with, okay, at the end of the day, using their talking points, okay, talking shit about black people all the fucking time, okay? These people that he's rubbing elbows with and swinging with the who's, these are the niggas that got his ass killed. It's the niggas that he was closest to that got his ass murked. You know what I'm saying? That's my personal opinion about that. And he crossed somebody that he was once cool with, once was using their talking points and pushing their agenda. When he started to revert to something else is when they was like, oh no, this nigga know too much. We got to get his ass up out of there. You know what I'm saying? We got to get his ass up out of there. It is what it is. And this is the thing about it. When you're running around here, you know, talking shit about this group of people, talking shit about that group of people, talking shit about, and then you're saying, beating your chest with the shit. And then when something happens to you, you know what I'm saying? It's easy for people to say, oh, it could have been this, it could have been these people, it could have been that people, it could have been the gays, it could have been the goddamn Democrats, it could have been black people. You know what I'm saying? Now we know that it wasn't a black person, so or ancient American, so you know we can cease and desist that. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But anyway, Candace claims, okay, that he started to turn on Isreal. Now he's been a heavy advocate for Isreal and everything that they got going on and shit like that. When he started to reel back on that shit is when they really started to put the motherfucking they put the money up. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, they put that bounty up on that nigga head. You know what I'm saying? And according to the shooter, at the end of the day, the shooter was somebody that was actually somebody that was a Republican. You know what I'm saying? They was a conservative. So that's what I'm saying. Like, people just gotta fall back sometime from politics and get out of the whole, oh, it's the Republicans' fault. It's the if you're a Democrat, everything that happens to a Democrat has something to do with the Republicans. If you're a Republican, something happened to you, it's the Democrats. Like, y'all niggas gotta chill. Y'all gotta chill. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta chill sometimes. Sometimes it be the people that's closest to you, the people you're rubbing elbows with and donating to and motherfucking attending their events and shit like that. The minute yo and you get knee deep like a nigga like Charlie Kirk was, they gotta take you out. They gotta take you out. No different from Martin Luther King, right? Martin Luther King was in the who's with the CIA and all this whole other shit, creating this agenda about civil rights and shit like that. And when Dr. King realized this civil rights shit is hurting ancient Americans and they're giving everything to foreigners and immigrants and shit like that. When Dr. King started to speak to the ancient American community, like, nah, man, yeah, they giving out land grants and this, that, and the third. So when we come to Washington, we coming to get that check. Them niggas said, it's time to take this nigga out. It's time to take this nigga out. And they did that. That's what they did. And it only happened when Dr. King started to go against that civil rights shit. You know what I'm saying? When he started to realize that, like he said in his own words, I felt like I've led my people into a burning building, in which he did. He did, okay? He did do that. But I always give Dr. King his respect because at least he was man enough to let the ancient American community know, yo, I fucked up on this one. You know what I'm saying? I fucked up on this, but we gonna make it right, and we coming to Washington to get that check. Them niggas owe us some bread. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas owe us some bread out here. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, them niggas, yeah, they did all this shit, got all these foreigners in here and shit, and gave these niggas all kind of shit, and we out here, you know what I'm saying? Now, fuck that. We coming to get some of that money, too. They said, oh, no. And they knew that Dr. King knew that shit because he was in the in crowd, okay? Dealing with them folks. And it was time to take his ass out. You know what I'm saying? And that they did. You know what I mean? And who has something to do with it? The niggas that was the most closest to his ass. Okay? So with Charlie Kirk, it's the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Except that this is some white on white shit. Okay? Charlie Kirk loved to get up here and talk about black on black crime and gang violence in Chicago and da-da-da-da. And it was a goddamn conservative on conservative crime, white on white crime that took Charlie Kirk out while his ass running around here talking about black on black crime and gang violence in Chicago and all this whole other dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Talking crazy about black folk, ancient Americans and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, fam. And this is what I'm saying. Like, this is why I like, for me personally, I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no nigga gonna talk shit about my people and shit like that. And I'm supposed to be motherfucking on my knees for this nigga when he get his top rocked at the end of the day. I ain't got nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad it wasn't no nigga that did this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad it wasn't no nigga that did this shit. I'm gonna keep it a dollar bean. But that's how it normally be. It normally be the niggas that's closest to you that get your ass murked, especially when you're somebody like a influencer. You know what I'm saying? When you're somebody like an influencer and you're aligning yourself with government and shit like that, the minute you stop doing that shit, they're gonna call for the curtains on your ass. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. But anyway, let's let it keep going.
And he had more than one event, but he had essentially what was staged, an intervention was staged by Bill Ackman. Because Charlie's rational thoughts about Isreal were a no-no. This is not the route that you should be going on. And Charlie was surrounded by his friends, his quote-unquote friends. Bill Ackman was very upset, and threats were made. That is what I am told, and I will tell you that I am very happy for Bill Ackman to dispute this narrative. In fact, he was asked to dispute this narrative. Max Blumenthal went out to him today, and Bill Ackman came back and said, I have receipts I can show you, and he did not provide the receipts. This is not how it went down. I know it went down this way. I'm waiting for one of them to go on record and to say that it didn't go down this way. It was at this time that Bibi Netanyahu was called and Charlie was invited to Isreal. This was an under duress situation, I would say, because I've been in these situations before. When I started asking very sensible questions about Isreal, as someone who had dedicated her political life to supporting Isreal, many times alongside Charlie Kirk.
Okay, and remember, Charlie Kirk, if I'm not mistaken, Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens, they was all part of that Daily Wire shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not the biggest Candace Owens supporter, but the truth is the truth. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, and like I said, when you start talking crazy, like I said, they love you when you out here. Like for instance, Candace Owens, they love Candace Owens when she out here talking crazy about ancient Americans and using these weak ass goddamn talking points to describe every nigga to be some diabolical thug, criminal, hooligan, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's ridiculous. Candace Owens, they sent her little black ass out here talking crazy and wagging her finger at niggas and shit like that. But the minute she get the audacity to get out here and start talking about them folks out there with that star, all right? She get out there and start talking about them folks with that star. Oh no, it is time to cancel this bitch. They did fire the bitch from her goddamn, let her go from her duties at the Daily Wire, etc., etc., etc. And it's not like she was out here talking about she want death to these folks and shit like that. See, the reason why they can't take Candace Owens out, I'm gonna keep it a dollar bean. At least my personal opinion about it. The reason why they didn't eliminate Candace Owens is because Candace Owens is a nigga at the end of the day. So it's like, if it comes back, it's gonna, these folks are smart. Now, as far as another Caucasian, they'll eliminate one of them niggas like it was nothing, and it'd be a Charlie Kirk situation. Oh yeah, it'd be a Charlie Kirk situation going on. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down, it'd be a straight Charlie Kirk situation. So, it's just very unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Very unfortunate at the end of the day. Like I said, I'm not somebody up here to beat the drum and tell niggas that every nigga need to support Charlie Kirk and shit like that. I'm not going to do that because Charlie Kirk was talking crazy about niggas. You know what I'm saying? And he was saying that shit with his whole chest. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not out here to defend that man, but I'm just letting y'all know this ain't no shit niggas need to be really talking about, to be honest. And this ain't got nothing to do with no Democrats, all right? This is one of the main reasons why I'm doing this video, because this ain't got shit to do with no Democrat, you know what I mean? It don't, you know what I'm saying? And shit makes me sick to my stomach that you got conservatives running around here, and even Donald Trump took his ass out here and talked about this was the far left, like Trump. No, nigga, this ain't got nothing to do with that, but we know Trump is controlled by them people too, man. We just gotta be honest, man. We gotta tell like it is. Fuck all that shit, dog. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's the reason why they can't take Candace Owens out. I mean, they're pretty sure they can. I'm pretty sure there's threats been made and shit like that, but they can't take her out because it would just be too obvious. And that shit can really spark something, you know what I'm saying? So they can't really do it in that sense. But a nigga like Charlie Kirk, they can take him out and blame it and see the blame get pushed on the Democrats. You know what I'm saying? As you see Netanyahu, oh yeah, Charlie Kirk was a supporter of Israel. But according to Candace Owens, you know, y'all was out here throwing threats to the man. You know what I'm saying? Talking about he need to, you know, having meetings with the man, telling him he need to change his tune on the shit he talking about when it comes down to Israel. You know what I'm saying? And Charlie Kirk must stood on business and was like, nah, I mean, you know, I respect you guys and stuff like that, but you know, I got a job to do. You know what I'm saying? And they said, okay, we got you, fam, and we got a job to do too. And they hired a hitman. That's what they did, allegedly. Allegedly, they hired a hitman. Allegedly, oh, you got a job to do, we got a job to do too. It was good knowing you, Charlie. You know what I'm saying? And bang, you know what I'm saying? The shot heard around the world. You know what I mean?
I was met with the
Allegedly.
very same pressure. And just like Charlie was being invited to Israel, I was invited somewhere else. And when this arrived to me, it felt like a threat. You know, I gotta tell you that. It felt like a threat. Like,
Oh yeah, when them folks come see you, dog, it's definitely a threat. It ain't like, what are you talking about? Like, what you mean? It felt like it? No, Candace. Tell like it is. You know, say that shit with your whole chest. It was a fucking threat. Them folks sat your ass down. First of all, you wasn't good enough to come to Israel. See what I'm saying? And this is what I'm saying. Like buck dancing, coon ass niggas like Candace Owens. This is why sometimes I can't respect Candace Owens. You know what I'm saying? But she do be talking her shit. So I give her the benefit of the doubt. But you wasn't good enough. They wasn't bringing your black ass over there to come see Israel for real. You know what I'm saying? They met your ass somewhere else. You weren't good enough to be in their house. You know what I'm saying? They met you at a hotel or some shit. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But nevertheless, though, yeah, they put that pressure on Candace Owens. Like, look, nah, listen, yeah, all that shit you was saying, you know what I'm saying? We're going to need you to stop that, you know what I'm saying? Or this is going to be heavy consequences. This ain't no threat neither, you know what I'm saying? The nigga said, this ain't no threat, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But as she's saying, Charlie Kirk was probably met with the same shit, you know what I'm saying? And when I told somebody this, they just jumped down my throat and swore up and down it was the Democrats. The Democrats, the far left, and the Democrats. I'm like, this nigga, bro. Like, nigga, you cannot be that hard of a fucking conservative, dog, that you just think a nigga getting killed automatically means the Democrats had something to do with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, nigga, like, listen, I'm not the biggest Charlie Kirk supporter, but I do listen to the nigga from time to time. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what he's talking about, I might click on the video. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, there's things that I can agree with people. I can agree to disagree. You know what I'm saying? Now, I may not like the shit, but at the end of the day, the shit he's saying, I might not like it, but it might be the truth to a certain degree. And it might be some shit that I can agree with, and I might be like, man, you know, this nigga went a little bit too far with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Or nigga, at least call it across the board. Nigga, don't just paint everybody with a broad brush like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that shit ain't cool, and that's how you create enemies doing shit like that. So when something does happen to you, you're not somebody of the people at the end of the day where they can be like, nah, this is some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have people fighting on this side. You're going to have people who, you know, love this man on another side. But like I said, you know, when I brought this point up, like, man, I'm pretty sure he says something about a certain group of people. And, you know, and I actually looked it up and Googled and showed the nigga, like, see, he said this shit, and 2 months later, this nigga dead. You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, it was the Democrats. Like, after that, I was done with the conversation. Like, yo, Ain't no getting through this nigga right here. Like, this nigga is brainwashed by the fucking Republicans, dog. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you have people with the Democrats that's like that. They're brainwashed into believing everything the Democrats do is good for the people, and you got people believing that everything the fucking Republicans do is good for the fucking people. And it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. You know what I'm saying? Both sides have their fucking faults at the end of the day. Both sides do some bullshit. Both sides can be hypocritical, okay? They're two wings of the same bird, you know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. But anyway.
Not like, hey, come here and we can educate you because you're my friend. More like, this is your last chance. That's how it felt to me. I can't speak to how it felt to Charlie. And I know that Charlie was offered a ton of money in this moment. A ton of money. Maybe would fund it, you know. Spend tons of money. And Turning Point, I guess, if it needed to go to a higher level, would have gone to an even higher level than it already was at.
All right, so according to this, according to Candace Owens, they offer this nigga a big bag. Like, look, nigga, just shut the fuck up, nigga, and we gonna listen. You want Turning Point would be the biggest thing in fucking America. We run America, okay, Charlie, and you know that, all right, Charlie, you know we run America, nigga. So, you want this big bag, and Charlie probably stood on some principle. You know what I'm saying? He probably stood on some principle for real, for real. It was like, nah, I'm cool. I'd rather, tell it like it is. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather tell like it is. And they probably was like, you sure about that? And they probably was like, yeah. And then they was like, all right, Charlie. You know what I'm saying? And they let that nigga go. Charlie thought everything was sweet. Thought he was going to keep going to these campuses, debating folks and shit like that. And them folks had something hot waiting for his ass. You know what I'm saying? And that's very unfortunate, man. But, yeah, man, that shit is just crazy, dog. Yeah, them people apply real pressure, man. Real pressure, man. Straight up.
And I know for a fact that Charlie denied that funding. That Charlie denied, and what BB didn't include there, he declined to go to Israel for, I would describe this as like, re-education camp. We've seen it. You made an but we can help you. We just need you to come out to Auschwitz and take a picture. Yeah? We just need you to come to the Holocaust Museum and take a photo. We just need you to go to Israel, and we can make this better. Charlie said no to BB. Okay? Bill Ackman, if you would like to dispute that, I would love to hear what you say happened, because our sources and what we have.
I wonder if this is the dude that Candace Owens had a debate with, and I forgot what the fuck Candace Owens said to this dude, but this dude literally tried to like pull a Karen move on Candace Owens. I forgot what the fuck it was about, but I wonder if it's that same dude, you know what I'm saying? Because I think I did a video on that shit, and I was like, bro, ain't no fucking way, bro. Like, how you get that? I think it was something to do with like pornography or some shit like that. And yeah, that shit was crazy. I think Candace Owens was talking about how the dude's daughter or some shit like that was in like porn, or some crazy shit. And the dude really tried to like flip this shit, like. Yeah, that shit was crazy. I forgot exactly what it was, but I wonder if that's the same guy, though. But anyway, because that name does sound kind of familiar.
It's solid, okay? There were conversations that took place, messages that were sent at that time, and they are solid. So I decided, another person that was there, and I am not surprised this person was there. If you've been listening to my show, Seth Dillon. I was going to go out to Seth Dillon, and I decided to message him last night about this Hamptons meeting. And Seth Dillon, who is normally very quick with a response, has not yet been able to respond. I'll show you this text message chain.
See, and here's the thing. Here's a dangerous game that Candace Owens is playing as well. You see what I'm saying? Is Candace keeps fucking with these people, okay? You keep fucking with these people and getting running. They gonna do something. Eventually, they might end up doing something to Candace Owens. I ain't gonna sit up and hold you, fam, because they're not going to allow, like, she got to be careful for the setup, you know what I'm saying? And in this case, it won't even be like a setup at the end of the day. They'll off Candace Owens and blame it on the Democrats. You know what I'm saying? Or blame it on some wild nigga doing some dumb shit or some shit like that. Like, Candace Owens has to be fucking careful. She's constantly reaching out to these folks, but you're talking shit about them. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't talk shit about people, whether it's the truth or not, and then want to be around them. Like, you can't do that shit. Like, this is what I don't understand, why she keeps doing this shit, because eventually they're going to get her ass. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. They're going to get her ass. You keep walking down that dark alley like that, you're going to eventually get got. You know what I'm saying? So, Candace better stop spinning the block when it comes down to dealing with these folks, especially if you're going to be speaking on shit when it comes down to, anything to do with Israel and that you might be against at the end of the day. You can't keep dealing with these people that are pro-Israel, that are Israelis. I guess that would be the term for them, right? Jewish and shit like that. You can't keep talking shit about these folks and then think that nothing's going to happen to you, but you keep aligning yourself and fucking surrounding yourself and going to these folks' events and shit like that and thinking that they don't feel no type of way about you. She has to be a stone cold dummy to think that these folks are not planning or don't feel no type of way towards her. You know what I'm saying? It is absolutely dumb. And as intelligent as she thinks she comes, as intelligent as she comes across, this is some dumb shit that she's out here doing as far as aligning herself with people. But Candace Owens has alienated herself so much and talking crazy about ancient Americans, talking crazy about gay people, talking crazy about any and every, all kind of Democrats and shit like that. She's alienated herself so much that all she can really do is align herself with conservatives, align herself with these folks, okay? And even these folks, some of these folks are Democrats. Some of these folks is hardcore fucking Republicans. You know what I'm saying? And these folks that are conservatives, they are hardcore pro-Israel. Okay? It's Israel over everybody, even Americans. And you aligning yourself with these folks. You know what I'm saying? They don't like you, Candace. They don't like you. I don't know if you don't know that or not, but they don't like your black ass. They don't like your kind. All right? They don't like you for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? They might, Candace, yeah, Candace invited to the cookout, right? But they secretly don't like your ass. They can't stand your ass, all right? And you keep playing with these folks, they're going to do something to you, you know what I'm saying? So you better be careful, and you better just start chilling with your goddamn husband at the end of the day and make that nigga a sandwich or some shit like that and stop going to these fucking events. Because if Candace keep taking herself and aligning herself with these folks, they're going to eventually do something to Candace Owens, you know what I'm saying? That's just what I think about this shit, you know what I'm saying? So if you're going to be talking shit about these people, or when it comes down to a stance and it's going to be something you don't agree with what Israel's doing, I would advise your ass not to be talking to these folks, not to be aligning yourself, going to these folks' events and shit like that. It wouldn't be the smartest thing to do, all right? But anyway.
And I want to be clear, I am not someone who normally publicizes text messages, but my friend was shot in the neck, and I'm just not really in the state right now to be polite when it comes to the answers that I am demanding, okay? This is me out to Seth Dillon last night. I sent him Bill Ackman's tweets because, he tweeted, I feel incredibly privileged to have spent a day and shared a meal with Charlie Kirk this summer. He was a giant of a man.
Okay? And this is how these folks will do. They'll be a part of your hit at the end of the day and get up here, man, I had the privilege, man, to kick it with him. And, man, Charlie Kirk was such an awesome dude and da-da-da-da and da-da-da-da, right? Meanwhile, they may have known that this nigga was getting ready to get taken out. Yeah, man, this nigga Charlie, man. Charlie on bullshit, man. He out here talking crazy and shit. Don't say nothing, though, man. But, yeah, man, I don't know, man. We might have to do something to Charlie. You know what I mean?
I said, any comment on this one, Seth? He didn't answer last night. This morning I said, need a comment ASAP, please. He didn't answer. Then I followed that up and I said, trying again here, you were present when Ackman lost his mind on Charlie and when Bibi invited him to Israel and Charlie refused. Text messages immediately following this meeting are circulating. I find Ackman's statement, as though the meeting was somehow cordial, to be incredibly disturbing. Are you at all disturbed by that tweet? Do you feel, as I do, that this tweet significantly betrays the defined purpose and mood of his and I presume your final meeting with Charlie Kirk ? He was unable to speak to me, but he did place some frantic calls to Turning Point USA. Yeah. You see, I went out to Seth, but I also went out to two other people who were at this meeting, and nobody is willing to go on record. They're all messaging each other, trying to figure out a coordinated response to say that, no, this was all quite cordial, but no one wants to go on record and describe it as cordial because they know someone's leaking, because someone's got a guilty conscience about what happened at the Hamptons. So I will again put it out there. Seth, Bill Ackman, and to the other individuals who I have not yet named, but who are going to be named later this week, who were at the Hamptons when Charlie was put under pressure, when Bibi Netanyahu called him and invited him to Israel, again in a move that when it happened to me, and it wasn't Bibi Netanyahu, felt to me like a laced threat. I am inviting you guys, I will give you my platform, actually, to come clear matters up and tell us what really happened.
Candace. I don't know who Candace Owens thinks she is at the end of the day. I'm going to be honest with y'all about that. Listen, these are some powerful people, okay? You think, listen, if what Candace Owens is saying is true, right? That Charlie Kirk said some shit or changed his stance on Jewish and Israel people and shit like that. And they put some pressure on that man, and they told that man, and it, gave him like what she called a lace threat, okay? You think these folks are going to come on your platform to argue with you about whether or not they had something to do with the hit on Charlie Kirk? As intelligent as this woman deems to be, she is very dumb at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? That is not how this shit will work. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, if I put a hit on somebody and I sent some folks at somebody to, get in contact and put pressure. Hey, look, man, this shit you doing, dog, you know what I'm saying? We ain't fucking with that. You know what I'm saying? And if this shit, and like I said, if I lace a threat, like, yo, if this shit keep going on, dog, this is gonna be a problem at the end of the day. It's gonna be a problem in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Just coming from somebody who used to like be in the streets, like, if I lace a threat at somebody and then something does, and then that threat turns into somebody losing their fucking life, everybody that I'm associated with is gonna be on shh. Everybody gonna be on shh. Ain't nobody say nothing. Everybody gonna be quiet. You know what I'm saying? We ain't coming on nobody's platform. We not nigga better not be pillow talking, cause then something might happen to them. You see what I'm saying? It's no different from where you get these people that was coming out about Hillary Clinton and shit like that, and Bill Clinton, and all of a sudden these folks is drowning in 3-foot pools and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying these folks had some heavy allegations against Hillary and Bill Clinton and these folks, and all of a sudden these folks dead, okay? The broad, what's her name? The Virginia broad that was on the Epstein joint and all that, she mysteriously dead now, okay? You got folks like, what was that dude's name? I think he was like an actor or some shit. He kept getting allegations and shit put on him, and every time this nigga went to court, somebody was dying, you know what I'm saying? Somebody was dying. Every witness was dying off. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's how that shit be. You know what I'm saying? They approached Charlie Kirk. They told Charlie Kirk what the business was. Okay? And like I said, if you're not protected by the Most High, man, listen, man. Your ass is up out of here. You know what I'm saying? You up out of here, man. Because like I said, these people are playing God on earth. You know what I mean? And if you're not protected by the Most High, fam, and you don't know how to move out here at the end of the day, you're going to find yourself in a Charlie Kirk-like situation. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. You know what I mean? So Candace better be careful fucking with these people. These people not coming on your platform to debate you about, like, you're basically wanting to interrogate them. They're not coming to your shit to be interrogated. You know what I mean? Let alone even responding back to you in the fucking text messages. And like, it's just dumb for her to even say, I will invite you to my platform. They don't give a fuck about your platform. They don't care about your platform. They're not about to talk about this shit in general, especially if what you're claiming that they threaten this man because of his change of tune on Israel. They're going to be real quiet about that shit and move behind the scenes. That's what they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? They're going to move behind the scenes. They're going to get out here. They're going to make posts and tweet talking about how great of a guy Charlie was and Israel stands with Charlie Kirk. But they might have been behind the shit the whole time of that nigga getting murked. You know what I'm saying? What Candace Owens might be saying might be really true. But do you think that they're going to come on your platform to fucking pretty much expose themselves? You have to be a fucking idiot to believe that they would do some shit like that. You have to be. You know what I'm saying? You have to be like, man, whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. I ain't going to really talk about the shit too much. But it's just dumb at the end of the day for Candace Owens to really be doing this shit. Because like I said, they're not going to fucking get up here and jump on your platform to talk about that shit. Like, that's just dumb. You know what I mean?
I can tell you factually, Charlie was praying the rosary. Charlie was going to mass. One of my last conversations with Charlie was me joking with him saying, just make the last step, okay? You are, I said specifically, you're too smart to be a Protestant. Just take the last step, Charlie. He says, ha ha. He was speaking about Mary. And typically, when those steps start taking place, you stop referring to yourself, as I did, as a Judeo-Christian.
All right, so we know at the end of the day, like I said, there's always been a thing with Christianity and you know, listen, man. Christianity has always been something that's been frowned upon, you know, when it comes down to, you know, this world in general. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people like to talk about the Bible, but a lot of people don't believe in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Or they want to believe certain things and certain things they don't want to believe. You know what I'm saying? They want to freestyle the Bible and shit like that. They want to pick and choose what they want to believe in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it is what it is. But for people that stomp down Christians and shit like that, you know, this is just the way that they go. You know what I mean? Was Charlie Kirk somebody who is a part of Christianity? He might have been, but I believe Charlie Kirk was probably definitely a Freemason for sure. To be in those kind of, to be in the spaces that he was in, he got to be a part of the in crowd to a certain degree. And Charlie just pissed off some people that he was actually close with, okay? That he actually have connections with, and people that actually he have their fucking phone numbers and they have his phone numbers, okay? Those are the people he pissed off for real, you know what I'm saying? Has nothing to do with no Democrat, you know what I'm saying? And this is the shit that I want y'all to understand, you know what I mean? Like I said, Charlie this TV, you acting like the Democrat. You like, y'all niggas gotta get out of that shit. Y'all gotta get out of this whole left-right bullshit, you know what I'm saying? It's bullshit at the end of the day. It really is. It's bullshit. It's bullshit, you know what I'm saying? It's all bullshit. They all get up here and say all the same dumb shit every fucking 4 years. They're trying to save the economy. They're trying to end world hunger. They're trying to do this. They're trying to do that. And meanwhile, they're fucking American people over every fucking day, and they give no fucks about it. And meanwhile, the American people running around here arguing with each other over these fucking politicians, arguing with each other over these speakers and shit like that. Niggas like Charlie Kirk. Nah, Charlie Kirk, man, he said this, man. That's why I like Charlie Kirk. And da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. And, you know, they going back on shit. They being hypocritical about shit. You know, they're using talking points that they're getting from the top, and they're running that shit down and spewing that shit out of their mouth and shit like that. Like, man, it is what it is, man. What happened with Charlie Kirk pissed them people off, okay? And see, they can get away with doing that shit to another Caucasian. They can. They done it, you know what I'm saying? They've done it. They did it with JFK, you know what I'm saying? JFK murked him, you know what I'm saying? Dr. King, you know, got murked when he decided he wanted to go against the agenda, you know what I'm saying? Motherfucking Michael Jackson's another one. When he decided he wanted to go against, he became too big and Sony and had half of Sony and had all these catalogs and shit like that. They like, yo, this nigga too powerful. We need some of that shit back. You know what I'm saying? And Michael wasn't coming off of none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And they said, this nigga got to go. You know what I'm saying? He got to go. And we know who run the music industry. You know what I'm saying? It's no fucking secret. You know what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, man, Charlie pissed off some folks that he was close to, that he was using their talking points. Those are the folks that got his ass murked. And it's easy to, how could you say that? They got up there and they said they supported Charlie Kirk in his death and all this other stuff. Okay. Killers move in silence. You know what I'm saying? Just because a nigga show up, you know, I mean, this stone cold killers who know they got somebody killed, know that they got somebody set up and shit like that, and will still show up to the funeral, okay? They will still show up to the funeral just to check the temperature to see how people gonna react. Oh, nah, yeah, that bitch ass nigga has something to do with it. Yeah, that bitch ass nigga has something to do with it. And if motherfuckers quiet about that shit, oh, okay, ain't nobody pressing me about nothing, all right. So I guess I'm cool. I'm in the clear. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the clear right now. So, you know, it kind of is what it is, man. But, you know, for Charlie Kirk, man, and his family and his kids, his wife and kids, let me say that. Mainly for me, for the kids, because I don't know the kids is innocent in this situation. The wife might be a stone cold racist as well. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe Charlie Kirk was definitely, if he wasn't racist, he definitely was prejudiced as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Because this nigga always has some shit to say about black folk. Nigga talk about some goddamn, right before the nigga got shot, he was spewing some shit about gang violence and shit like, and it was a white man that shot you. You know what I'm saying? You got shot by a white man. You know what I'm saying? Conservative white man. The shit that you support and stomp down for, he shot your ass. You know what I'm saying? Had nothing to do with, you know what I mean? But that's the shit, you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I can't really speak on feeling bad for the wife like that. But the kids I definitely feel bad for. You know what I'm saying? I definitely feel bad for the kids. That's why y'all niggas running around here celebrating this man's death. Y'all niggas is disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. Y'all niggas is pieces of shit. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. And I can't support no shit like that. I just can't. You know what I'm saying? Because my main thing is the kids. You know what I'm saying? The kids ain't got shit to do with that. You know what I'm saying? This man talking points or what he had to say about this and what he had to say about that. I feel bad for the children. You know what I'm saying? Because the children is always innocent. You know what I'm saying? And in those situations. You know what I'm saying? Unless they're born stone cold diabolical races and shit like that. Then, you know, I guess it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And then it's fuck them kids. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, the kids is innocent always in the situation. I don't play that shit, man. Not with no kids. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that shit with trying to teach kids sex and all that other shit or trying to change kids' genders and shit. I don't play with none of that. Anything to do with anything with the kids, bro, they innocent. I ain't got nothing to do with that. And I'm not celebrating no nigga demise because I disagree with his talking points or some shit he might have said that I strongly disagree with or that I deem to be disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm not celebrating that because he got children at the end of the day. And, you know, I feel bad for the kids because they're going to be out here without a father now. You know what I'm saying? A biological father. Let me say that. You know what I'm saying? The wife might eventually meet somebody and somebody might be playing stepdaddy and shit like that. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I feel bad for the children. You know what I'm saying? So before you niggas get up here, throw your pom-poms up, celebrating this shit. You know what I'm saying? Just take a second to think about that nigga kids at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? I know he ain't no nigga and shit, but y'all know how I talk. You know what I mean? So, you know, just take a second to think about that man kids, bro. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. There's a lot of kids out here that, you know, they ain't got their parents. You know what I'm saying? Their mom done died. Their pops done died. Shit. Some of these kids out here with no parents. Both parents gone. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't condone no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's just me though. You know what I mean? I might be all tell like you buck dancing, nigga. You buck dancing. Well, nigga, fuck it then, nigga. I'm buck dancing then, nigga. Fuck what you talking about, nigga. I ain't out here celebrating no nigga demise and shit when he got kids and shit running around this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas crazy, dog. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Anyway, man, don't get mad at me, man. I just gotta tell it like it is, man. So shout out to day ones. Shout out to new ones, man. Make sure y'all niggas hit the like button, the subscribe button. If you want to donate, the links is in the description box. If not, that's cool. The like button is, that's right, y'all. The like button is free. All right, man. Tell Like It Is TV. We out of here, y'all. One.